And now we are on to my favorite part of every lesson, where we get to practice everything we've learned by trying out actual SAT and ACT questions. Being that this is section 3, you're not allowed to have a calculator, and I honestly don't think you need one at all. So as we read this question, I'm going to encourage you to hit pause so that you can try the question on your own. And then once you have your solution, you should unpause to watch it and see if you got the answer right. Let's go ahead and read this question. Which of the following is the graph of the equation y equals 2x minus 5 in the xy plane? Go ahead and hit pause and try to answer this question on your own. Now for the solution to this question, we are going to be graphing the equation of a linear function written in slope-intercept form and trying to match the graph to one of these 4 traces given to us. Now recall from the previous lesson that when you're graphing equations in slope-intercept, there are 2 really important points to keep in mind. One of them is the slope. In this case, the slope is 2, and slope is a fraction, so we write this as 2 over 1. So we know that we will be rising 2 places and running 1 place. The other point that we said was really important was the y-intercept. In this case, it is -5. So based on those facts, we can eliminate choice A and we can eliminate choice C. Why can we eliminate A? Because the y-intercept is not -5. And here the y-intercept is at +5, whereas we were looking for a y-intercept of -5. That leaves B or D as the answer to this question. So now let's go ahead and try choice B and see if by following the slope, we'll end up with this graph. So starting at -5, we should go up 2 because rise 2 over 1, you rise 1, 2, and you run 1. Remember, we said that if you're going to be running, you have to run to the right. So we rise 1, 2 places and ran 1, but there is no graph there. So we know that B isn't the answer, which means D must be it. But just to prove that D is the answer, let's go ahead and complete it. Starting at the y-intercept of -5, rising 2 places, so 1, 2, and running 1 place gets us here. You can do it again, rise 1, 2 places and run 1 place. You end up on the line again, so that's why D is the answer to this question. This next question is from ACT Test 59F. This is question 35. And once again, we're going to read it, but first I encourage you to hit pause on this video, try the question, and see if you got the answer right. Which of the following is the graph of the equation 2x plus y equals 4 in the standard xy coordinate plane? Go ahead and try this question, hit pause, work it out, and then come back and watch the rest of the video to see if your answer is right. To answer this question, we want to use the second technique that we looked at when we were graphing linear functions, specifically when we graphed the last equation, which was in standard form. In that example, we said create yourself a chart, an X and Y table, also known as a T-chart, and choose some X values that are easy to work with. So just by glancing over at these choices, I'm seeing that there's a recurring theme in that there are distinct points here and here, here and here, here and here. So if I was the one choosing points, I would choose some X values that are close to where those distinct points are. And those distinct points appear at -2, 0, and at 2, maybe one more at 4. So let's take each of those X values and I'm going to plug each one of them back into here, see what the Y value is. So for the first one, it would be 2 times -2 plus Y equals 4. And we would end up with -4 plus Y equals 4. Then we would add 4 to both sides. And then we would know that Y equals 8. So when X is -2, Y is 8. So based on that fact, we can eliminate D because at -2, there is no graph here. We can also eliminate E because at -2, there is no graph here. We can eliminate C because at -2 there is no graph here. And we can also eliminate B because at -2 there is no graph here. That leaves A as the answer. But if you wanted to really prove this, we can plug in another point, which is 0. So we would have 2 times 0 plus y equals 4. So 0 plus y equals 4. Therefore, y is 4. So when x is 0, y is 4. When x is 0, y is 4. That makes it certain that A is the answer to this question. And that concludes this lesson on linear functions. We talked about the 3 ways that linear functions can be written, and we also talked about how to graph linear functions. And lastly, we ended by practicing actual SAT and ACT questions.